Good morning, everyone. I'm Asharim Karim. So before anything else, I would like to ask if there's anyone who knows what is comics, graphic text, and the like. Image into text. The visual text that most obviously rely on verbal language outside of films and videos, that is, are comic strips and graphic novels, which can be defined as open-ended dramatic narrative about a recurring set of characters told in a series of drawings, often including dialogue and balloons and a narrative text. So those are example of image into text. So what is image into text? Showing in the slide, read the slide to make it simple. Imagine into text are visual with text, just like comics and graphic novels. So this is a comic example of the comic strip. So as we can see that there's a picture, so they communicate because and also there's a text written in the box or circles. So comic strips and also the graphic novels. So this is the examples of the graphic novels. So there are so many. So in this slide, we can see that we have visuals with text example. We have the people having conversation in different frames and arrangements. That is what we call conventions. So we proceed to another slide. The codes and conventions of the form were finally formalized by the 20th century, with many of their features standardized, the arrangement of panels to govern the pattern of reading, different shaped balloons for speech and thought, convention of movement, narratorial comment, descriptive captions, facial expressions, and onomatopoeia. So before the 20th century, the making of comics and graphic novels were unorganized and non-uniform. However, in the 20th century, the codes and conventions of the form were formalized. The utilization of different shaped balloons for speech and thought, and and the entirety of the piece became meaningful and understandable. So we proceed to the uh, we proceed to the uh, sixth and seventh slide. So as we so in the sixth and seventh slide, we have a strip entitled "Blood in the Gutter." So this is the blood in the gutter. It depicts a detective genre. Uh, that means that we are looking at a genre where he is trying to solve a problem and maintaining peace. Another example, this genre is the case of the missing information, a piece of a detective genre, but parodic manner. So to further explain, the empty speech bubbles and the narratorial boxes reiterate this. Little or nothing is being said, perhaps because it has all been said before, so often in one formulaic text after another. And hence perhaps we see Sarah and Butch, their minds rotted away by static consumption of cultural text. So this is a picture. In this strip also, uh, we can observe the movement of a man portraying the action of a superhero in a thriller action narrative piece. We can observe the in each frame the jump cuts and the rocking shot of films. So each frame moves us to different scenes with the different lines and movements. And examples of these, the floorboards and the tiles that run quickly to the vanishing point, force our eyes force our eyes to move quickly as well. We can observe symbolic codes with his body language, technical codes in the framing and the lines and shape, and written codes in the uses of speech. So the story being told, though, as the title and subtitle suggest, is parodic, making fun of both the genre of detective or superhero graphic forms and of academic doublespeak. It is our visual narratives, generally very economical in its gestures and icons. With a few lines, it conjures up a whole set and condenses and thus intensifies information and action. It is also, as any still image must be committed to representing only fragments of movement or characterization rather than the more nuanced forms possible in verbal text. So, because of the story being told is an example of parody, the very reason for this genre is to make fun of the subject and the story for economic purposes. To make it realistic or slightly similar to the original, the use of the lines, movements, and scenes are copied or altered from the original with the intent of making fun. So this is the end of my slides. So this is the quiz, my short quiz. So number one is the codes and convention of the form were finally formalized. So A, 20th century, B, ancient Egyptian, C, medieval art. Number two, the visual text that most obviously rely on verbal language outside of films and videos, that is are A, standardized, B, comic strips and graphic novels, C, detective genre. Number three, the graphic story shown in figure 4.6 illustrate and most of convection with A, cinematographic long shot, B, onomophotic top, C, facial expressions. So that's all for my reporting. Thank you, and I wish you have learned to my PowerPoint presentation and also to my discussions. That's all, class. Thank you and good day.